Oh, smells so good. I bet it tastes good too. But, oh, hi, Limerick friends. I didn't know you were there. I was just going to have my chocolate chip cookie. But since you're here, I better put it down for now and welcome you. Mrs. Pymer here, and I'm reading one of my millions of favorite books. I have so many, it's hard to choose, but I thought this one would be good because it gave me an excuse to eat a chocolate chip cookie. This book is entitled The Doorbell Rang by Pat Hutchins. Pat Hutchins is a writer from England, and she illustrates her own books too. She's got a lot of different books, and we have a few at our library at Limerick. There are also novels and chapter books that she wrote that you might be able to get your hands on and read also. So, thinking about chocolate chip cookies, I think we'll read the story. Before we start, one more thing. It's important to look closely at the pictures. There's lots that happen in the pictures, and I don't want you to miss anything. So make sure you check the floor and what's happening on the stove, as well as with the cat and the cookies at the table. I've made some cookies for tea, said Ma. Good, said Victoria and Sam. We're starving. Share them between yourselves, said Ma. I made plenty. That's 6 each, said Sam and Victoria. They look as good as Grandma, said Victoria. They smell as good as Grandma, said Sam. No one makes cookies like Grandma, said Ma, as the doorbell rang. It was Tom and Hannah from next door. Come in, said Ma. You can share the cookies. That's 3 each, said Sam and Victoria. They smell as good as your grandma's, said Tom. And look as good, said Hannah. No one makes cookies like Grandma, said Ma, as the doorbell rang. It was Peter and his little brother. Come in, said Ma. You can share the cookies. That's 2 each, said Victoria and Sam. They look as good as your grandma, said Peter, and smell as good. Nobody makes cookies like Grandma, said Ma, as the doorbell rang. It was Joy and Simon with their 4 cousins. Come in, said Ma, you can share the cookies. That's 1 each, said Sam and Victoria. They smell as good as your grandma's, said Joy. And look as good, said Simon. No one makes cookies like Grandma, said Ma, as the doorbell rang. and rang. "Oh dear," said Ma, as the children stared at the cookies on their plates. "Perhaps you'd better eat them before we open the door." "We'll wait," said Sam. Take a look at Sam peeking through the mail slot. I think he might know who's there. It was Grandma with an enormous tray of cookies. "How nice to have so many friends to share them with," said Grandma. "It's a good thing I made a lot." "And no one makes cookies like Grandma," said Ma as the doorbell rang. This story, when it comes to the end, always brings a smile to my face. Not only that, but I often wonder, who is at the door? I don't know, and she never tells us, but it gives us something to think about. I think I'll take some time and think about it myself. This story is really a good story about kindness and sharing and cookies. And Mrs. White shared with me that she used this book in fourth grade when she taught division. I think that's a great idea. I never thought of that. I hope you enjoyed the book. It's one of my millions of favorites. And now, well, now I think it's time for me to enjoy this cookie. Thanks for sharing the book with me. I wish I could share the cookie with you, but it's kind of hard through a virtual screen. So I guess I'll just enjoy it. Perhaps you can get a cookie after school today. See you later.